Sex workers are cheaper. Brutal truth or mistake? Megan and I have been together for 6 years. She's 31, I'm the same age. We got married 8 months ago. When I proposed to her, I was confident that our marriage would be a strong partnership. We always try to support each other. And even though we had our disagreements, I felt like we were a team. But after we got married, everything changed. Megan was always bright, ambitious, and full of ideas. She was proud to tell everyone about her education, even though her degree wasn't exactly in demand in the job market. This has never embarrassed me. I run a family business with my uncle. We have a successful plumbing company. Despite not having a college degree, I make good money and I respect what I do. I love seeing the results of my work, and I've always taken pride in being able to provide for both of us. But after the wedding, it was as if Megan turned off some internal button. She stopped contributing in any way to our shared household. She doesn't cook, and when she does, the meals are inedible. At first I thought it was an accident, but over time I began to suspect that she was purposely ruining the food so that I wouldn't ask her to cook anymore. She doesn't clean, saying it's beneath her dignity for a woman with her education. I tried to discuss this with her, gently suggesting that we divide the responsibilities, reminding her that I can't be both the one who earns the money and the one who keeps the house in order. But it ended up being excuses. When I come home after a long day at work, I see a messy house, an empty refrigerator, and Megan sitting on the couch talking on the phone for hours. It's moments like that that break my heart. This is not the woman I fell in love with. The intimate side of our relationship has almost faded away too. I realize she has self-esteem issues. She's worried about her body. But instead of fighting it in any way, she just gives up. Her lifestyle of sitting at home all the time, lack of physical activity, is only making it worse. I've tried to support her, but every time I've said anything, I've been rebuffed. 2 days ago, we had a real storm. All I asked her to do was one small thing: move my clothes from the washer to the dryer. But she forgot. When I got home, the wet clothes were still lying there. I tried to talk to her calmly about it, but instead of apologizing, she started yelling. If you need a maid like your boomer uncle's wife, why don't you divorce me already? Her words struck a nerve with me. I had always believed that our marriage was based on mutual understanding and respect. But in that moment, I just felt used. In a fit of anger, I blurted out, honestly, at this point, a sex worker would be cheaper and less stressful than dealing with you. Instantly, I realized I had overreacted. Megan was shocked. She jumped up from the couch, yelled something inaudible, and left for the bedroom, slamming the door. We haven't spoken since. I haven't apologized, not because I don't feel guilty, but because deep down I think it was the truth. Maybe it was cruel, but it was the truth. Now, I don't know what to do. Should I apologize? But if I apologize, wouldn't that be admitting that her behavior is normal? On the other hand, I love her. I want us to get back the closeness and trust that we used to have between us. I think we're both confused. And I'm afraid that if we don't find a way to work it out, our marriage just won't last.
Story 2. He was hiding his second life. Breaking up after shocking revelation. I, age 23, broke up with my boyfriend, age 24. And now that the emotions have receded a bit, I wonder if I was too harsh in my decision. We were only together for 6 months, but we seemed to have everything. Great chemistry, laughter, sincerity. He was funny, sweet, and I admired his work ethic. He worked as a mechanic, I thought. He had a good job and I was proud of him. But a few days ago everything changed. A friend of mine sent me a link to a video. At first I thought it was some kind of mistake or that she was just kidding, but she insisted that it was definitely him. So, of course I couldn't help but check it out. I watched the video. And yes, it was him. His face, his tattoos, everything matched. The feeling was like a blow to the head. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't ask him right away. I wanted to understand what was going on, and when we met, he didn't deny it. He admitted that although he worked full-time as a mechanic, he also did adult movies. Moreover, he did it for extra income. He said it was just a job, that there was nothing wrong with it. But for me it was like a stab in the back. He kept it a secret for 6 months and I felt betrayed. He didn't even try to justify himself except to say I was too judgmental and hypocritical. We argued for over an hour. He said I didn't understand the industry and should be more open-minded. But what angered me the most was that he didn't tell me this from the beginning. It was as if he was hiding a huge part of his life, and I couldn't accept that. In the end, I decided to end the relationship. I said I couldn't be with a man I couldn't fully trust. Now I'm contemplating. Perhaps I was too harsh. Should I have been more understanding? Or did I do the right thing by feeling so betrayed?
Story 3. Relationship break. Should you fight or just let go? I, 24 years old, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 23 years old, for almost 4 years now. In general, our relationship has always been strong without serious fights, with good relations with families and similar views on many things. I don't drink, smoke, or participate in club life, and she is a complete opposite. She likes going to bars, clubs, and spending time with her friends, and I completely understand that. I don't even mind her lifestyle, and I try to support her in that. She's been going out a little less often lately, as studying is taking up a lot of her time. We live separately and will probably continue to live separately for a few more years, as we each have our own plans for the future. We don't see each other that often, usually once a week, but we keep in touch via FaceTime and texting during the week. All of this has been the norm for us, and I thought we got along great. We recently returned from a trip that I felt went well. We both enjoyed our time together, and it seemed like everything was perfect. However, after I got sick and we didn't see each other for a couple weeks, our relationship started to change. When we got back together, I sensed something wasn't right. We watched a movie, and afterwards she asked to talk. That's when everything became clear. She said she didn't know if she saw a future with me. I was shocked because everything seemed fine up until that point. She continued that she had been feeling unloved and unheard for almost a year now. I listened to her and admitted that in the month before our trip, I had become a bit taken for granted and hadn't put enough effort into keeping the relationship on track. I felt embarrassed, but at the same time I didn't expect it to lead to this turn of events. She eventually said she needed time to think about it, and it's been 3 weeks since then. I love her, and she knows it. I do see her in my future. I envision us getting married and having kids. But I'm getting more and more confused. I don't know whether to keep doing little things for her like flowers or lunches, showing I care, or to leave her alone on this break like she asked. I can't go on like this. 3 weeks of thinking is too long, and I don't know what's next. Do we just break up, or do we find a solution after all? Any help and advice is welcome. Sorry for the somewhat disjointed post. This is my first experience here. Maybe I'll add more details later.
Story 4. Trust and Code. Why I think it's normal to check my partner's phone. I often see stories on forums where someone confesses to spying on their partner's phone and in response gets a judgmental, "That's terrible," or "You shouldn't have done that." But what I find interesting is that in most cases, people who check their partner's phones end up finding evidence of cheating or lying. And here's where I wonder, is that really such a bad thing? I don't think that snooping on your partner's phone is necessarily something terrible, especially if you have doubts and you feel like it's the only way to deal with those feelings. Sure, people will say, you have to trust your partner. But to me, trust isn't just pretty words. It includes having access to your phone. I don't want words, I want action. If you trust me, give me your code. We live in a world where cheating has become commonplace, and sometimes saying, "I trust you" isn't enough. People say the phone is their privacy. But isn't sex, for example, part of privacy? However, many people think that privacy is only important when it's convenient. That's why I believe that if there is any doubt, you should check. I haven't checked my partner's phone yet, but I know that in the future, if there is any doubt, I won't hesitate to do so. If he doesn't want me to check his phone because of personal boundaries, then that's fine. I'll just respect his privacy, so much that I won't even consider pursuing a relationship with him on a more intimate level. Edit. To clarify my experience. When I started long-distance dating a guy, he asked me if I wanted his Instagram password. I said no because I trusted him and didn't feel the need for it. But as time went on, I started to sense that something wasn't right. He started acting weird and I started having doubts. I asked him again if I could get his password and he said no. I was very frustrated because I felt something was lurking, but I couldn't prove it since I didn't have access to his phone. I often told him my concerns, asking him questions about the girl he was subscribed to on Instagram. He would say she was just a coworker and he kept restricting me by not allowing me to subscribe to men. All of this only made me have more doubts. I finally decided to text the girl he was following. It was a move I never would have made if I didn't feel like he was lying to me. And as it turned out, he cheated on me with that girl and a few others. Now looking back, I realized that I may have seemed crazy and overly controlling. But honestly, he was already cheating from the beginning. So if in the future I feel like something is wrong, I won't hesitate to check my partner's phone. If you don't want to share your code, then I won't share my life with you either.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of interesting stories waiting for you.